Okay, so as I so often do with this particular bit here on the specialized roles of police, um, I'll make several comparisons to the medical field because it's one of the things that we seem to understand best is how things operate with our doctors. So there are several advantages to specialization of law enforcement. One such advantage is that the attention of the specialized officers is narrowly focused. Okay. So I've made mention quite often in class that, I'm a traffic guy, but also, um, I specialize in, as far as criminal investigation, I focus on financial crimes, white collar crime. And so the thing is there are so many different things that we do in law enforcement that nobody can be particularly great at all of them. Um, I've explained to you several times before that I particularly dislike and even go so far as saying that I hate working sex crimes. I also hate doing death investigations. Unfortunately, both are required for patrol officers to respond to and handle. Um, they're not my best work, and I will admit that to anybody, anytime, anywhere. Whenever you talk about a criminal investigation, I do my best work with property crimes and white collar crimes. Whenever you want to talk about the area that I focus on and am the best at, that's driving under the influence and accident investigation. So, I mean, my specialty is in traffic, and so the thing is my attention is narrowly focused rather than trying to be good at robbery and rape and murder and sex crimes and kitty diddling and traffic accidents and all of this. I have a few things that I'm particularly good at, and then I have kind of a generalized ability elsewhere. Okay, so my thing is I'm really good at a couple of things, and then I'm fairly good at others. So our officers will also develop our expertise, obviously. Um, you know, as far as DUI investigation goes, I am an expert um, and qualified as such in court. So I'm an expert witness when it comes to DUI investigation. Um, Not so much with other things. It also improves our efficiency because if you look at your um, here, let's think whenever we're talking efficiency, let's think more along the lines of a detective division. So you have the robbery detective and you have the sex crimes detective and all this. The sex crimes detective is extremely good and very efficient at investigating a sex crime. The robbery guy is very good and very efficient at investigating a robbery. But now, what happens if you take and throw a robbery at the sex crime detective or a sex crime at the robbery detective? They can do it because we all have our general investigative skills, but they're not going to be nearly as efficient at it. The sex crime detective knows what evidence needs to be gathered from who, when, the time frames, all of this sort of stuff. Robbery detectives know what to look for robberies. Now, you switch the roles, they can do it, they'll figure it out, but it takes time. And it's not particularly efficient. But whenever you have specialists in all of these different things and you funnel things to these specialists, then they do much better at it. And so the thing is where I said that I would talk about medicine. Here's the thing. So if you have some particular issue, um, let's say you want skin tags removed. Okay. So completely a topical procedure. You could do it in a doctor's office. You don't even need a surgical theater for it. Okay. Clearly, a dermatologist would be the specialist at it that could do it extremely fast and accurate and efficiently and all of that, because skin tags are a dermatological condition, and that's what dermatologists do. Now, if you were to go to your um, family practitioner, they can do it as well, but they're probably not going to be quite as expert at it, not quite as efficient at removing a skin tag. Then you go and find a neurosurgeon, and God help you, because those guys are extremely smart and they know the brain, but skin tags are kind of rudimentary for them, and so it's hard for them to back off to a basic medical skill that way. So it's kind of the same way here. And then obviously, officers become very effective at accomplishing our mission, and it's fairly simple to measure our effectiveness as specialists. However, just like there are advantages, there are disadvantages. We're less flexible. So, like I was saying, um, the sex crime guy, if he spent 15 years in sex crimes and then suddenly you throw a robbery at him, he's having to think back to information from 15 years ago on how to investigate this case. So we become a little less flexible because we just lose that flexibility. We also tend to forget the big picture. Um, Sex crimes detectives, if you have a robbery with a rape and a murder included, um, the sex crime guy is going to be great at working out the rape component, but trying to make sure that they're collecting all the appropriate evidence for the murder and the robbery, you're going to need three separate detectives to do this, because there's such a narrow focus there. And that leads into compartmentalization, because they're going to fail to coordinate with other units like that. And you still need supervisors for these folks. So here's a big thing: is we always hear about investigator or detective, and there's um, a lot of times these terms are used interchangeably, but they are different. Um, in the realm, they both conduct criminal investigations, but an investigator can be anybody in the agency with the ability to conduct any part of an investigation, which includes evidence technicians, being crime scene investigators, crimes analysts who follow up and collect video and do analysis on your case, anybody that conducts part of uh, the case. It can also include patrol officers. But then you have detectives who are highly specialized investigators that don't handle patrol issues, and they generally work a case from beginning to end once it's been referred to them by a patrol officer. So with that, I'll stop this one, and we'll start part two in just a minute on criminal investigation here.